Hello and welcome. I'm Iris Whitelock. I'm the host at Creative Spirit, where I have in-depth conversations with artists about the work they love to do. So I'm interested to know what compels them to do their art. Do they have a bigger purpose for making art? And, how do they feel that they contribute through their art? How do they contribute to society? So before we start into the conversation proper, I'd just like to acknowledge the Whadjuk Noongar people of the country in which we work, live, play and make art. And I'd like to acknowledge the traditional leaders, the Whadjuk Noongar elders of the past and present, and the emerging leaders as well. So I think it's very important to acknowledge country. As artists, we are so influenced by what's around us, by the country itself, and also by the impact of the Aboriginal culture in this country. So it gives me great pleasure to welcome Myra Mitchell. Myra is an award-winning artist and began painting after designing and making jewellery for 10 years. It was a natural progression for her, as she'd been on a creative journey since her days nursing in Melbourne and UK. Myra chooses both abstract and semi-abstract styles to explore the art of painting to convey her feelings. She uses a variety of vibrant colour palettes, mixed media and acrylic, which captures the essence of her contemporary work. She's inspired by nature and the landscape she lives in. She has an expressive and fast-paced style that gives her work a feeling of freedom, in turn creating a sense of emotion and movement, which adds energy and soul to each individual piece. Myra is represented by Gallery 360 in West Leederville, Perth. So Myra Mitchell, welcome. So it's lovely to have you here. Thank you for coming along, or for being here, should I say. It's in the land of Zoom. So tell me, what is it that compels you to create art?
I suppose from an early age, I was always making things, and my mother was always making things. So I'd sit by her stool when she was sewing, even though I did a lot of chatting. I didn't do too much learning, but I think it must have came into me by osmosis. But I've been creating for quite a while, and I did make jewellery. And when I first came to Perth from Melbourne, I went to every TAFE course available. I went to a photography course, milliner's course, but I knew there was something in me. And then I finally found art when I picked up a paintbrush, and I got shivers all over my body, and I went, oh, this is it. This is what I've been looking for.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So because there is so much vitality, and as I said, the vibrant colours that you use as well. It just, I get, as as I said in the introduction that there is definitely that sense of movement and vitality, and I love the colours that you use. You have a very good sense of colour. So do you think that all developed from those early days next to your mum, or you must have a particular way of looking at the world? I think it must be. The internet connection is unstable, so it might be because of the weather we've got at the moment. It's not very good. So sorry, if you were speaking, then I missed that. So
no, you were speaking.
Okay, so yes, I'm just interested to know about where you think you got your sense of colour and.
Iris, I think it's very intuitive. It really is. I do recall one. Now I can't remember his name. One teacher, when I went to listen to his talk about, and I was thinking whether I would join his class, and he said, just go to your paints and intuitively, Neil, and just kind of pick up the paints that you feel that you want to paint with, and that's the way I've been doing it. It's just intuitive, and if to colours go together, it makes me, it's just a beautiful feeling, and and that's learnt over the years as well.
Yes, so you've developed that intuitive sense there, sort of what feels good. When you're saying about getting shivers, you know, just that feeling that this is it. Yeah, it's a real sort of connection that's not really logically explained, is it?
No.
Yeah, well, that's lovely. So, Myra, would you like to take us through the selection of paintings that you've loaded up on the presentation point, PowerPoint thing? So I'll go to that folder and let's see. Okay, here we go.
Oh, so you want me to?
Yes, if you can talk to us about what is the world you see.
Oh, well, it's a bit Course in Miracles, I must say.
Yes.
Well, no, I do paint abstract and landscape abstract, and this is one of the landscape abstract. So it's the world I see is very colourful, but also years ago I was loving the north of Western Australia before I even got there, and when we made a trip up there, I just loved it. And when I came back, I started painting the landscape up from, it's, you know, kind of north of WA. So that's where my landscape abstracts come from. And it's just, you know, and the good thing about being an artist, you have poetic license, so you can use any colours for the sky, green sky.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's a, you know, joyous, the world I see.
Yes, well, that's certainly the feeling I get from this piece. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay, now we'll try to move to the next one. Ah, there. Yes.
Oh, well, the next that is just a close-up of the world I see.
Yes, okay.
You can see the brush strokes there, which are pretty, you know, wild and abandoned.
Exuberant. Beautiful.
Yes.
So, and that's acrylic, is it, that you use there?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, we'll move up one more. There we are, Sunday.
Again, landscape abstract, and I called it Sunday because it's very calming, and it reminded me of a picnic, like you'd go, you know, when I was younger, this is back in Victoria though, you'd go on a picnic, and just reminded me of that. So that's why I called it Sunday.
Yes, yes, it is calm. It's beautiful.
And there's pastels in there as well.
Yes. Oh, okay. Let's have a look.
Yeah, just up the top. I just pastels. So it's,
is that oil or chalk pastels, or?
I think they're oil.
Yes.
And you know, there's a bit of dripping along there, so that's always good fun to do.
Yeah.
And I can see, like, down the bottom where my signature is, so that there's the dark tones down there. So I normally start a different colour, so you've got a nice deep base, and then just let some of the colours come through.
Yes. Yes, it certainly gives it that depth, doesn't it? Yeah, and shadow. Yeah. Okay. Oops, gone the wrong way. There we go. The New World. Yes.
The New World, again, a landscape abstract. And this got a prize at the South Perth Emerging Art Awards a couple of years ago. So, yeah, again, just different, you know, the colours that I love, which are a lot of pinks and ochres in there, and again, some pastel. Yeah, just, and it is interesting that because I take photos along the way, and you know, I get to a certain stage, and then sometimes I leave it and then come back a few days later and just know how to finish it, whereas before you know, if you're still in there kind of struggling a bit, I go, oh no, I need to walk away from it and then
Yes.
come back. Just go, oh, that's what I needed. A few lines to draw it all together.
Yes, just having that perspective of being away from it, it really resets things, doesn't it? It sort of, rather than
Yes.
being immersed in it. Yes.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now this is wild. Beautiful.
Oh, yes. So this is the recent works. I still do the landscape abstract, but the next ones are, so my sister always loved my flowers, because when I first started painting, I did a lot of flowers, and it was more particular flowers, kind of tight and bit straight, I suppose. And she recently became unwell. And I woke up one morning and I went, oh, how can I draw some flowers for Josephine? And so I did have these, they were an abstract work, and I just put some, you know, like went crazy and put the flowers on top, and I went, oh, that's it. That's how I can do the flowers for Josephine.
Yes.
So,
They're beautiful.
and thank you. And now I'm going through a burgundy.
Yeah.
Phase. And so that's called Burgundy Blush.
Okay. Yes. I love that. That's yeah. Well, I love those. Again, your colour sense is just beautiful. Love it.
Thank you. And
More burgundy.
yeah, more burgundy and a bit of pink and red, and also like that ochre just pops the whole.
Yes.
Without it, it would be a bit boring, but it's just
yeah. Perfect. And Josephine's flowers again. So that's,
yeah, that was the first one I did, and so that's why I called it Josephine's Flowers.
That's lovely. So I'll see. We'll stop the screen sharing now, and here we go. Stop share. Back again. I think it's working. So Myra, you told me just recently of a trip to the country where you'd gone specifically to do some painting, or that's what you wanted to do during that time, and you found you were getting, there were more sort of social demands. And I was just interested in what you said about, you know, you felt you were going to go nuts if you couldn't get to doing the painting. I mean, how important is your art to you?
Oh, it's very important, and I do remember that conversation. We'd gone away for 5 days, and I'd only done a little bit of art, but I was so excited to do my art because I bought some new pastels and I bought some new watercolor paper, and I hardly touched it. So, and then I, you know, kind of, I wasn't relaxed at all on the way home because I hadn't got any of my artwork done. So there's something in me that I need to paint.
Yes. So it's an expression for you?
Yes. Yeah. And then when I do paint, oh, sorry.
No, carry on.
When I do paint something that it feels good, and I know when it's finished, I can ride on that happiness for a couple of weeks.
Oh, that's lovely. So it brings you joy, just to be actually bringing that out, expressing all that. That's lovely. And so what do you think you bring to other people with the work that you make?
Oh, well, hopefully the same feeling that, you know, it's all kind of energy. And I know that when I see an artwork, I can feel that artist's energy. So hopefully that they feel that joy and happiness that I bring to it, or it brings to me.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I certainly get that from your work. You know, when you were talking about the South Perth exhibition a couple of years ago, was that where your painting was right at the entry when you walk in?
Yes.
Yeah. That was amazing. It was just like, whoa, you know, just so big and beautiful, just lovely. Yeah. Okay, so that's just lovely. I'm trying to think of I'll just have a look at my questions just to see if there's something that pops out that I want to ask you about. Is there anything more that you want to say about the way that you work?
Oh, no, it was something that when I first started painting, I went to an exhibition myself at Japinga in Fremantle, and I saw an artwork that I looked at and I started crying, and I went, oh, that's what art can do.
Yes.
And that was really powerful for me to know that someone who I didn't know that could transmute to me.
Yes. So there's that what you're bringing to people is you express your emotion, what's joyful or whatever's going on for you, and that gets transmitted through the painting, doesn't it? Through the work that you do. Yeah. The questions that I'm just thinking the questions are more a logical sort of brain thing, but because I find when I look at a painting, I think, oh, how's it done and all that sort of thing. But that's not my initial reaction. My initial reaction is the emotion that is stirred up by it. And that's what I got from that painting of yours in the front of the exhibition that time. It was just like, really hit me. So, yeah, fabulous stuff. Yeah. So, and I know you're such an energetic and joyful person yourself, that really comes through just in being with you, and certainly comes through in your work. So that's gorgeous. Okay, so I'll just have a quick look at my questions and see what else. Again, is there anything else that you want to talk about?
No.
Okay. So I guess there's this question that comes up, and I'm just thinking, I'm not sure whether you've answered it. So I'm just wondering, is it the process or the outcome or both that excites you?
It's both.
Yeah.
The excitement of, oh, I've got some new paints, or I've got a new canvas. Yes. And it's all ready. Yeah. So it's the process of, like, I've got something happening at the moment and it's not quite right, but it's nearly there.
Yes.
And then when it's finished, it's that brings joy as well to so it's the whole process.
Yes. Well, I love.
Oh, sorry.
No,
I
you
can
carry
also
on.
let it go. I can let it go. I'm not attached to it.
Yes, because that's interesting. That aspect of creating art. Sort of how precious is it? I just think it's an interesting question of, it's kind of a birth gestation process, isn't it? And then, or gestation and then birth, and then there's getting it out into the outside world and letting it go and bringing joy to other people. I was talking with an artist recently, and she said she was interested in the kind of gap between working on something in the studio and then getting it to the exhibition, and how the kind of the meaning or something changes about it in the journey almost. Have you had any sort of experience like that?
I suppose you do let it go in between, if it's going into an exhibition, like when I'm driving them to drop off, I'm saying, well, hopefully you're going to go to a good home, and
where people love you, and
So I think it's just an organic way. Then it's off you go.
Yes. Well, I suppose if you're creating art, there's no point in keeping it, in a sense, is it? It's how what your intention is when you make it. It's sort of to go out or to express, so it has to go outwards. So
And when I'm painting, I don't think about whoever it's going to go to. It's just that's not a part of it. Otherwise, I would probably it would stilt me.
Yes. Then you're sort of adjusting yourself for an audience almost, aren't you?
Yeah.
Or a spectator, whatever. So are there ever any paintings that you really don't want to let go of? Do you ever have that sense?
There's one or two.
Mm.
Yeah.
That you definitely know you want to keep for yourself.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And what is it about them?
Oh, it's because it's family.
Ah.
You know. Yeah. It's like there's one over there that I named after my nana.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's lovely. So yeah, I don't think I did put it into an exhibition, but it didn't sell. So it's like, oh, okay, you
You
meant to
meant
be
to
here.
have it. Yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
Yeah. Got a bit of nana there.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's called Eliza's Flowers. I didn't call it Nana's Flowers.
Yes. Okay, so do you you've mentioned your grandma, so what other influences are there in your art? Do you kind of are you influenced by, I don't know, politics, things going on outside in the world, or is it mainly internal?
No, it's mainly internal. Yeah.
Mm.
And I like other artists. I started liking Fred Williams and Tony Tuxton, kind of Australian artists I'm quite influenced by.
Mm.
And Todd Hunter, kind of his expression, loose brushstrokes. Yeah.
Yes, so similar abstract sort of work as
Mm.
well. Mm. Yeah. Great. So who would you say is a hero? Have you got a hero, painting hero, somebody that you look
I
up
love
to?
Elizabeth Cummings.
Yes.
Yeah, she's another Australian artist.
Mm.
Who else? Jo Darville. She's a WA girl.
Yes.
Like her.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
That's about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Myra. If you've got anything more you'd like to say,
Can't think of anything else.
No, that's okay. So I'll put on the end of this video, I'll put your business card and details there, so you can. Well, I'll have to put. I might have to put the details without the actual card. It just depends on my skills there, so we'll see.
Okay. Oh yeah. So if anyone wants to see my artwork, it's at Gallery 360 or my website.
Yes. So Gallery 360 in West Leederville in Perth. Beautiful. Or on your website. Wonderful. Okay. Thanks, Myra. Thank you for today. And
okay,
I'll
thanks, Myra.
talk to you in a minute. Okay.
Okay. See you. Bye.
Bye.